Okay, everybody, there's a new JD Power study that is saying that EV sales demand is actually quite high, even with the removal of the EV tax credit. This is a snippet from the article. EV consideration rates climb in October. Consumers currently planning to purchase or lease a new vehicle in the next 12 months appear undeterred by the end of the EV tax credit. More than half, 59.7% of new vehicle shoppers say they are very likely, 24.2%, or somewhat likely, 35.5%, to consider buying an EV in the next 12 months. The number of shoppers who are very likely to consider an EV is up 2.6 percentage points from September and is now at its highest level since January. Now, if you're not familiar, in the United States, the EV tax credit was removed at the end of the third quarter. This tax credit gave new EV buyers $7,500 off their new vehicle. There was also some used tax breaks as well for used vehicles, used EVs, and these were removed with a big, beautiful bill being passed. And so one of the theses that was out there was like, okay, so now that's going to come through, people are not going to buy EVs anymore because, you don't have a $7,500 check from the government, theoretically, to buy an EV. Although at face value, that makes a lot of sense. There's clearly a trend here that says, no, that's not going to happen. What's going to happen is that people are going to continue wanting to buy electric vehicles. And it's very interesting to see that the 24.2% as of October of this year, literally a couple weeks ago, is the highest level this year since January 2025. And it's important to say that this is for all auto shoppers, right? Not just electric vehicle owners, all shoppers in the United States. If you look at just electric vehicle owners, so people that have already bought and own an electric vehicle, 94% of those owners say that they definitely will or probably will buy another electric vehicle. 79% say definitely will, and 15% say probably will. So the huge takeaway there is that people that buy EVs stick, right? So as people are buying electric vehicles, very few people are actually looking to leave their electric vehicle experience, which is such a about face to some of the things you hear on the media or from people saying, oh, people hate the range, people hate the reliability, people hate blah, blah, blah. It's just not true, you guys. We've been around this topic for a really long time on this channel. People are going to continue to buy electric vehicles. And part of the reason why people are buying electric vehicles is because of cost of ownership. So here's a graph, perceived cost of EV ownership compared to ICE vehicles among people that currently own electric vehicles. 60% of people that own electric vehicles say that the cost of ownership on an electric vehicle is much less expensive, 26% slightly less expensive, and 7% about the same. So these two combined, 86% of people who own electric vehicles say that owning the electric vehicle is saving them either some money or a majority, a lot of money in cost of ownership versus a gas car. The reason why is gas cars need a lot more maintenance. You need oil changes, you need fluid changes, you need repair on your potential radiator failure or catalytic converter. You need tune-ups, you might need new cylinders, your engine might break because of, you haven't replaced your oil in 40,000 miles or whatever it is. And there's a lot more moving parts in a gas car versus an electric vehicle. Now, I think what this points to for the next few months and years here in the United States is a very obvious picture, which is that Tesla is going to be dominating the electric vehicle market moving forward. The reason why is that a bunch of different legacy automakers have announced plans to pull back their electric vehicle production, citing the $7,500 EV tax credit as the reason why they would pull back on the production. And the reason why they said that is because of demand, which is a flat out lie. Why is it a lie? There's data that says that demand for electric vehicles as of October, it's the highest it's been this year since the start of the year. It has picked back up. It's literally higher than it was for the last 10 months. So what's the true reason why? Legacy automakers cannot build electric vehicles at a profit. They have lost money hand over fist trying to build these things. If they were actually making money on these vehicles, they would be looking to sell more of them so they can make more money. But it has a negative multiplier effect on their business. The reason why is when you're selling a product that when people buy, based on the graph that we just saw, over here, where 94% of electric vehicle owners are likely to purchase another electric vehicle, what that's going to do is going to pull away business from your gas car business that actually makes money. So these legacy automakers, in order to fulfill the demand for electric vehicles, would have to sell the electric vehicles at a loss because they don't know how to build them at a profit. And then on top of that, they would have to get rid of one gas car sale to replace it with an unprofitable sale. The reason why we're here is because legacy automakers have been incapable in adjusting their processes, their manufacturing processes, their cost to build cars, their supply chain, their innovation, they haven't been able to meet their primary competitor in the United States, which is Tesla, from a packaging perspective, a cost perspective, an experience perspective, a self-driving perspective. And even though some of them build really cool cars and good solutions, for example, Rivian makes phenomenal cars, and they are actually a new company, and they were able to start from scratch. But even they are not in a good position because they are losing money. Their cash flow is negative. They're hitting their bank account very hard to try to build these vehicles, which really showcases just how difficult it is to make a profitable electric vehicle. So now you have a pullback from these competitors to Tesla that no longer going to build more EVs, and Tesla is expanding their electric vehicle production here in the next 3 years. In the latest shareholder meeting, their annual shareholder meeting, Elon Musk said that they're looking to expand production capacity up to 5 million units by 2028.
We're going to push to expand vehicle production as fast as we possibly can. So aspirationally, we'd aim to increase vehicle production by about 50% by the end of next year, and exit rate by the end of next year of around 2.6, 2.7 million vehicles, annualized production, and then aim to get to maybe 4 million by the annualized rate by the end of 27, and then maybe 5 million by the end of 28. Those are our aspirational goals.
And so what this means is that Tesla's going to take a bigger market share of the electric vehicle market as they build more products to fulfill the demand from the market that clearly exists, while the legacy automakers give up their gas car sales to Tesla and they reduce their electric vehicle sales relative to Tesla. So what does this mean? Legacy automakers are going to ship less cars in total as the years progress, as more and more people buy EVs and more people get stuck in the ecosystem of EVs, because 94% of EV buyers will buy another electric vehicle. This is a trend that we've been talking about for literally years on this channel, that legacy automakers would collapse as electric vehicles become the norm. And the other thing that's coming here with Tesla specifically in relation to the electric vehicles is that Tesla has figured out how to make these cars drive themselves. Anybody who's been following the company closely, they've been following the progress of FSD V14, which is their latest self-driving software update for their vehicles, and it's pulling off some insanely impressive maneuvers. Here's a video of the car literally going around a set of cones to go around this sort of work area thing or whatever it is, and then a bus is starting to come from the opposite side in this one lane, and the car stops and backs up, and then it makes room for the bus, and then the car just continues on. And it did so by learning from billions of miles of humans driving their Teslas, and then they fed that thing to an AI brain, and the AI brain figured out how to drive. And this behavior is very unique to Tesla because of the approach they took. So now pair this capability on top of an electric vehicle platform that there's more demand for, and offer a very unique set of capabilities that will allow you to not have to pay attention, while a car that costs much less to maintain and to operate than your competing gas cars. And you can very clearly see that this platform, this thing that Tesla has built, is going to dominate the market in the United States. That is obvious now, you guys, okay? I've made videos about GM collapsing. I've made videos about Ford being in trouble. And a lot of people, take those videos and they make fun of me for it, which they're free to do. Thank you very much for the exposure. All you have to do is get behind the wheel of a Tesla with FSD V14 and just let it take you around town, let it take you from parking spot to parking spot, to just be like, okay, yeah, you're probably right. This is done. This is donezo. Their cheapest car starts at like $37,000. I have a theory that sometime in the next year or so, they're going to come out with an even cheaper car using the Cybercab line. I'm actually looking to create a market of this on Kalshi, because I got people trolling me on X that it's not going to happen. Put your money where your mouth is, bro. We're about to enter that world, okay? But the picture that's being painted is that it's total domination. There's going to be total domination from automakers that are willing to make electric vehicles, not just good electric vehicles, but good electric vehicles at a profit that will actually make money. So it's a sustainable business practice. And I know a lot of you that watch my videos are Tesla investors, and you follow the company very closely. And if you have at least $2 million of Tesla stock, I partner with Rebellionaire to sponsor this video. Rebellionaire is an investment firm that partners with Tesla investors who really understand the long-term potential of the company. The company is run by Bradford Ferguson and Matt Smith, two people that have followed the Tesla story for a really long time. And they're not just analyzing the auto sector, which is really a robotic sector now for Tesla. Now these things are starting to drive themselves. They really understand the humanoid robot part of the business. They understand the energy side of the business. They understand the long-term potential of how these robotic platforms are going to evolve, what Elon Musk's long-term vision is for the company. And what would typically happen is if you're a Tesla investor and you're trying to communicate this to your existing investment advisor or whoever you're partnering with, they'll probably look at you with a blank stare and be like, okay, that's really nice, but you should probably buy the S&P, okay? I'm assuming that's the kind of discussion you guys go through. But Bradford and Matt and the Rebellionaire team are very different. They understand what the long-term thesis is of this company. And so if you have financial goals you want to hit, and you want to partner with somebody who understands what the Tesla thesis is long-term, I encourage you to go to rebellionaire.com/Farzad, rebellionaire.com/Farzad, and that's how they will know that I sent you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was informative and helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.